Well, here it is, my Industrial Hobbies Mill. I just got done setting up a servo drive on the left side of it there for power feed, and built a stand for it right there, as you can see. It's made out of 3-inch angle, and here I just got a Kurt vise for it here. And as you can see, I didn't change anything with the motor and the transmission or anything yet. But what I did do is I did get a TDS 3i digital readout for it, and it works pretty good for doing bolt patterns and all that sort of stuff. Over here I've got a custom built control panel for it here at Red Mach 3. It's a touchscreen monitor, so I can go in here and, like, say you want to go cycle start, I can hit it right here. Or down here I got cycle start down here, and I got pause and I got stop. And if I close the program, yes. Okay, down here I have buttons that go across the top menus on the CNC control, and here are G-code buttons for loading G-code and that sort of stuff. If I hit this green button here, as you can see here, let me focus it in here so you can see it a little better. I hit this green button, it loads up Mach 3. Maybe. There it is. Okay, yeah, this is my big what is it, Big Tex Blue Probing plug-in there. And down here, these here are my feed rate up and down. I can change my feed rate speeds. And here I got manual jog controls for the X. The X is here and here. The Y. And the A axis is right here. And the Z axis is right here. And of course I hooked up an MPG on it. Down here I've got an E-stop button on it, so I can E-stop it if I need to. Down below got the regular keyboard, and then down below that I made a collet rack so I can store all my collets in it, and then below that are my servo drives in that cabinet. And since I'm working on making a CNC out of this, I got a Realtek 56 volt power supply right here, just for temporary. They came out of an old telephone UPS system. It's plenty enough power to run this thing with the 2 servos on it. And down here I have a servo that I got set up that's going to end up mounting right on these 2 holes right here and here. And this hand wheel is going to come off of here, and I've got a timing pulley that's going to mount in place of this. I've got it all set up, I just haven't done anything with it because the Acme threads with the backlash are driving me crazy. And as you can see, I've been using it a lot. I've been really doing a lot of stuff with it here lately. I'd say it's a good investment for a mill, but the only problem is with it is this feed right here. I don't really like it too much because when you're running on it, when you're running a setup on it, when I feed the quill down, the only problem it seems to be is when you release the lock, and with the vibration and stuff, it seems like it churns and you can never quite locate where you're at on it. So when I get this set up for a CNC, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a ball screw up in this column up here behind the motor up there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up with a ball screw on that. I'm going to leave this all the way backed up as far as it'll go. And then after I leave it backed up, I'm just going to lock it down, and I'm going to use the whole head as the axis rather than the quill. The reason I want to do that is if you're drilling something like set up in the vise in there and you have to drill it at an angle, you have to tilt your head or something like that, then you can't drill it at an angle with it without the quill feed on it. So I'm going to leave the quill feed on it. I'm just going to turn it you know, whatever angle I need to drill at, and then use the power feed. Use this here as like a power feed. That way I can drill like a 45-degree angle on it, and I don't have to worry about it crashing. And as for other things going on here, I got a Atlas horizontal mill here. I'm planning on finishing it up. I'm going to get ready to sell it. So if anybody's interested in it, this is an Atlas mill. It's around World War II vintage. It's a Atlas Craftsman. It's an M11A. It's got a 1/3 horse motor on it down here. See if I can get a better picture of it. There it is. I need to finish making the cone pulley for it, which is, this is a different project. This is going to be for a belt grinder, just a piece of aluminum stock there. But basically the same thing. I'm going to make a pulley out of a piece of built aluminum like this, and I'm going to do that over here on my South Bend lathe. As you can see, South Bend lathe works pretty good. I'm thinking about selling that too, maybe. If anybody's interested in that too, let me know. The problem is with the South Bend is the stuff I'm getting into, I can only go about 3/4 or 7/8 inch on the spindle going through it, right down here. This spindle, I can't remember, it's either 7/8 or 3/4 inch is maximum you can feed through this. And the problem is I'm running into is I'm getting into doing some big bar stock, and I just can't fit it through that spindle. And then here's a couple other odd tools and stuff, you know, indicator holder, magnet, quick change, that kind of stuff. And this is on a pretty sturdy stand here. This is made out of a 2-inch angle by 3-inch channel going across the top. The only thing I haven't finalized yet is the motor down here. The motor and the auxiliary shaft on there, right up here, that runs this. This is just a temporary setup just to get it running. I haven't really got a chance to get it done yet. Right now I just got two pieces of angle iron on here with a C-clamp on it, and then just kind of adjust the height to tension the belt. I need to finish it, but one day I'll get it done. As far as the CNC control goes, let me find the screwdriver here. Right now I just got set up on 2 gecko drives. If I can get the door open here, you'll see it here. Here's the 2 gecko drives and a heat sink I bought off of eBay. These are Gecko 320X. They're rated for 80 volts at 20 amps. And over here, I just put a temporary button in the door here in this enclosure, so I can use the button to reset the drives as soon as I power it on, because it usually goes into power on fault, which is normal from what I hear about them. As you can see, I got plenty of room in here to run an 80 volt power supply and the solid state relays and all that sort of stuff. And up there I got a couple speakers behind it so you can play your tunes and stuff like that when you're running it. And like the buttons go, as far as the control goes, this button here is a program run screen. This button here is MDI, manual data input, and then the toolpath, and offsets, and then settings, and diagnostics, and this one I forget what it does. Haven't been running it as a CNC yet because I don't have ball screws in it, so I don't remember all what I did with these buttons. Eventually I'm going to get around to putting labels on them and stuff like that, but I'm going to get a piece of stainless or a piece of aluminum and make tags to put behind all of these buttons back here. As far as the servo goes on, if anyone else wants to set this up like I did, and use a servo on it for a power feed if nothing else, I found out it's actually cheaper putting a servo motor like this on it than it is to go buy the power feed for it, because it's a little bit more intelligent design. I don't have to worry about the backlash because I'm just running one direction. So what I'm going to do is this plate back here, if anybody needs these plates or anything, let me know, because I can make these. This piece of bar stock right here, I actually ended up a little bit short. I ended up about 3/8 inches shorter than I needed to be, so I had to put some spacers in there. But if anybody else needs any plates like these, I can make them. And then here I put a Lovejoy shaft coupler in there, and I had to custom bore one of them because it's a metric spindle of the lead screw here. So I had to bore that out on my lathe. And then over here you can see that I put the DRO brackets in there. The only thing I seem to have a problem with is down under here. See if I can zoom in for you. Right here, I need to actually put a little cutout right in here somewhere, to clear these screws right there. But other than that, it works pretty good. I haven't had too many problems with it or anything like that. And then here's my I put my linear scale for my readout on the front just because it was handy to get to. The only bad thing about it is there is a little ball bearing oiler like this one down here, but I can't get to it like that, so what I have to end up doing is getting an oil can and oiling the ways up before I start using it. But other than that, it works out pretty good. I haven't installed it or anything. It's pretty powerful for the size of the mill it is. I'm really amazed. It's impressive. I think I might have it plugged in here. I'm not sure if the breaker's on or not. We'll see how it runs. Okay, I don't have the breaker turned on, but I'll put that in another one for you guys and show you how it machines and stuff like that. Recently, I've been doing some work with some Corian material for countertops. I was going to make some windowsills and end up making them an inch too narrow, so I got a bunch of pieces of scrap around. So I'm also making some angle plate, or like a 30, 60, 90 and 45s or whatever angle like that I might need. So if anybody else needs them, I'm capable of doing that too, so just let me know. I mean, this is a great machine. I work in a tool and die field myself as for a living, so I've got a few years experience doing it. But if anybody needs anything, you know, let me know. I can do a lot of machining now since I got this mill. I had to switch to this mill because this mill here, the table with it's got about 7 inches worth of travel on it, which is good for a lot of small things. It's great for doing shafts and putting keyways and stuff like that, but I just had to use something bigger that's a horizontal mill like this one here. The problem is with it is I can't tilt the head the way I need to because everything's fixed, obviously, because I can't tilt the spindle. I can't tilt up and down or left and right or anything like that, so I just had to go with something a little bit bigger. I get into building trailers and stuff, as you can see right here. I have the gate for a tilt bed trailer I made. I made a tilting trailer that also has a gate on the back of it for loading up for lawnmowers and that sort of thing. I get in all kind of stuff here. I've been working on making those angle pieces I was telling you about putting a vise to set up your standard 35 and 40 degree angles, and 45s, 22.5, stuff like that. I've also been working on a project for a MIG welder, which I'll show you here in just a minute.